And in this video, we're going to go over using the register designer in order to make slight tweaks to an existing template. While you can use this feature in order to do a full register from scratch, for most people, it's much quicker to take one of our existing ones and to modify it for your own store's needs. So right here, we've got a relatively fresh VM. It's got a little bit of data on it. We're going to take a look in here at the register designer. So we're going to start with one of our saved templates. And we're going to work off of the dark theme that we've used in the past. So you can use any of the standard templates here. There is also the option you can instead load from online from a variety of templates that other users have done or ones that we have done and made available. Just to take an example of that, actually, we'll just go ahead and load one from online here. We're going to say user designs. We're actually going to pull one that we did here a little bit ago that's based off of this same design, just with some slight color differences. So we're just going to take that. We're going to, we'll take this and we'll actually modify it a little bit. So this particular one has been done for a store that does do used and trade-in items, but let's say that we're actually designing for a store that doesn't do those, and then we have a particular color theme we want to do. So moving a button is very easy. You just click and drag. You can also manually position it by right-clicking and editing, and then you'll have a horizontal and vertical position. You can also align buttons based on each other by just right-clicking and saying align from for the one that you want to base it off of, and then clicking on things you want to bring in line. So you can see just then that the used box moved up slightly. So if you want to remove elements, which is a very common request for customers, they're just not all stores do all of the things that our software supports, and in some cases they want to hide some of that functionality. So like I said, in this case, we're going to just hide the things related to used and trade-ins, and then also for special orders. So you just right-click it, the button or element you want to remove, and then just hit delete. And you can always re-add a button later. If you want to undo this, if you do this accidentally, a Control-Z will undo the last thing you did. And you can keep hitting it to undo it again. Control-Y will redo it. So those undo and redo, as you can see on the screen, will just remove those things. So we're going to go ahead and just start deleting a lot of these, though. So we're going to delete all of the things related to special orders and to used items and to trading in. So these all trade-in buttons will go away. Special orders, we'll get rid of rentals and repairs and scheduling as well. So as you can see, we've kind of made a little bit of extra space. So there's different things you could do with that. You could shrink it down in order to use it on a smaller monitor, for example. Or you could, let's actually make one. This was obviously designed for a smaller resolution than our monitor is full size, but we could go to maximize and actually work with it in this form. So we're going to actually clear in some of the space. So I find it easiest to position things using the numbers in here myself. So we can see that this particular button is 300 at a vertical position of 325 and it's 60 high. Usually 5 is a good distance. So let's move this one to 390 and it'll line up and have about the same gap as the others do there. And then let's say we move all of these to the left by 95. So we'll just make this 756 So we'll just move these. One other thing you can do, let's say we didn't want all of these buttons to be different colors, but instead wanted to make them all, say, this green color. A quick way you can do that, you could go through and change the color of every button, but that obviously would take a while. If you right-click an element, you can find the copy formatting from. That's going to copy the background color, the foreground color, so the text color, and the font that you're using there. So let's say we didn't like that font. We wanted something a bit bolder. We can edit it and hit change font here, and then switch to another font. Let's find one here that's a little more striking for our store. We'll say we like this impact font, and we just want to make something that's much bigger letters and just a much more distinct look. So we could copy that formatting and move it to everything else. That's a little too big for that. So we can easily switch it to something a little less big than that. Let's find a we'll go with, yeah, that looks pretty good. So we'll go with that, and then we'll copy the formatting across. It is still a little too large, so let's make the font just a little smaller. So we'll go down to 14 maybe. And a lot of this, I mean, playing with it and finding something that works for you is part of the design process. But you might want to use something that's used elsewhere in your store, like a font that's used for your store's letterhead. So we can see here that some of these buttons, the text is wrapping with that. But we do have plenty of space, so we could actually make these bigger in order to allow us to use this font. So let's make the box that these are in just bigger by clicking and dragging it. And then I'm actually going to take a look. These are 90 by 80. They only need room for one more letter, so let's make them each 90. Oh, they're 90 wide. We'll make them each 100 wide. So we'll make them 100 by 80. And I'm going to go back and then move them as well. All right. So that makes those line up just a little bit better here. And then we're going to just go back over to our design. We're going to save it with a new name. So rather than lower resolution color groups, we'll call this one lower resolution green. And we can save it online in order to make it available to everybody. But the most important step here is to save it to our own database. And then we're going to select it as our template for this station. So then we're going to actually go out here. We're going to go into the register. And it's going to pop up here. We're going to have it looking pretty good here. We'll just add a few items. There are other changes we might want to make. For example, there's now blank space here, so we would probably want to go back in and move these buttons. But finding the exact right look is a matter of playing with it, seeing what you like, and then making the changes that you don't. So we hope that people will be able to make a design that really suits their store and their employees, so that they can use it as best suits them. But But if you have any questions, just let us know. Just send us an email at support@extremepos.com or otherwise contact us, and we're happy to help out. This only scratches the surface of what's possible in here, but this sort of minor tweak to an existing template is usually much easier for people than trying to do one entirely from scratch. All right, thank you all for watching.